the actor of the century. On the waterfront, a streetcar named Desire, and of course, the guy. He fundamentally changed how we approached the craft of acting, pioneering a naturalism that Hollywood hadn't seen before. But this isn't a celebration of his Oscar. We're here to talk about the flip side. The Marlon Brando, the self-saboteur, the script despiser, the man who weaponized his genius against the very studio system that worshipped him. We're going to dissect the maddest stories. From being paid $19 million for 10 minutes on screen, a check worth over $100 million today, to gluing his co-stars in place and winning Hollywood's biggest mooning contest. This is the story of a troubled genius who simply stopped caring. If you're a film enthusiast, you need to see this. The fatal prank, the drowning incident. Brando simply did not care about the rules of a professional set. While filming The Young Lions, 1958, in Europe, Brando and the crew were placing bets on anything and everything to pass the time. Brando bet that he could fake drown in a shallow stream so convincingly that the entire crew would panic and rush in to save him, and he did it. Brando thrashed and struggled in the knee-deep water, making it look like a life-or-death scenario. The entire cast and crew, including the director, dove into the water in a desperate attempt to rescue him. Brando won the bet, but this ridiculous stunt set the tone for his entire career. The movie set was Brando's personal sandbox. The first pranks, the cheesecake revenge. His talent was undeniable, but his behavior only escalated once he hit Hollywood. The tensions between Brando and Frank Sinatra on the set of the musical Guys and Dolls, 1955, are legendary. Sinatra, who openly called Brando the world's most overrated actor, was furious about Brando taking the lead role. Brando, in turn, executed a perfectly targeted act of revenge. Knowing Sinatra hated cheesecake, Brando would purposely mess up every single take of a scene where Sinatra's character had to eat a slice. He forced Sinatra to eat 20 pieces of cheesecake until Sinatra finally threw the pastry against the wall in disgust. This was not professional, it was petty, brilliant sabotage. The downfall, sabotaging his own career. Brando's downfall was marked by two monumental failures: One-Eyed Jacks and Mutiny on the Bounty. After firing the screenwriter for Mutiny on the Bounty, 1962, Brando proceeded to sabotage the entire production, running the budget way over and almost bankrupting MGM. The industry began to fear working with him. This reckless behavior wasn't accidental, it was a symptom. The 1960s became his FU year, where he openly admitted taking on roles just for the money, becoming disillusioned with a career he no longer saw as serious or important. Do you think Brando sabotaged his own career on purpose? Was it ego or self-destruction? Against all odds, Brando resurrected his career with two iconic performances. Yet his antics became more audacious and, surprisingly, often funnier. Still present, he started a mooning competition with co-stars James Caan and Robert Duvall. The climax of this absurdity? Brando won the contest by showing his backside to over 500 extras during the filming of the famous wedding scene. But beneath the humor was the passive aggression, the infamous cue cards. Brando, claiming last-minute script rewrites, had his lines taped to everything, from props to the chest of Robert Duvall. Which Brando prank do you wish you could have seen in person? The cheesecake revenge or the 500-person mooning? Drop your vote below. The insult to injury, the $100 million prank. The final stage of his professional detachment came with Superman, 1978. Brando was paid $19 million for just 10 minutes of screen time, a fee that today is well over $100 million. Meanwhile, his co-star, Christopher Reeve, was paid a mere $250,000. Yet even with that exorbitant payday, Brando remained difficult. He refused to read the script and made bizarre suggestions, including that his character, Jor-El, should appear as a bagel or a suitcase. He also demanded his lines be written on the baby's diaper he shared the scene with. This wasn't laziness. This was an actor deliberately challenging the boundaries of the system that needed his name. Do you agree with Brando that memorizing lines sounds unnatural? Or was it just laziness disguised as method acting? The Stanislavski defense, the illusion of purity. Brando often defended his use of cue cards by arguing that memorizing lines was unnatural. He believed that true acting required the character to struggle, to find the right words, to pause and think, just like people do in real life. To him, reciting perfect lines sounded like a school recital. Mary had a little lamb. This Stanislavski defense is the crux of the paradox. He took a valid artistic theory and weaponized it into an act of supreme unprofessionalism. He used his search for artistic purity as a smokescreen for his contempt. The final years, Miss Piggy and the earpiece. By the 1990s, Brando was deep in his I don't give an F era. His talent was still there. He got positive reviews alongside Johnny Depp and received his final Oscar nomination, but his behavior peaked. On the set of The Score, 2001, his final feature film, Brando repeatedly refused to take direction from director Frank Oz, who was famous for playing Miss Piggy and Yoda. Brando would taunt him by calling him Miss Piggy. Co-star Robert De Niro had to step in as a mediator, essentially directing the scenes himself. The final shot of Brando in the film even required CGI because he refused to smile. This wasn't method, it was a calculated insult. The corrupted legacy. Brando tragically lost much of his passion for acting in the 1960s, disillusioned by the industry and distracted by his tumultuous personal life and political activism. He began seeing acting simply as a way to earn money. As Christopher Reeve observed, the industry's willingness to pay Brando regardless of performance meant that Brando, in turn, simply stopped caring. His legacy is now a split screen. One side is the genius of On the Waterfront. The other is the man who won a Razzie, Worst Supporting Actor, and used an electronic fart machine on set. He redefined acting, but his toxic behavior, the outrageous pranks, the crippling waste of budget, is what truly cemented his name as the biggest and perhaps the most tragic figure in the Hollywood history. And that is Marlon Brando, the unresolvable paradox. The man who defined genius while actively sabotaging the craft he mastered. The final question remains: was Brando's self-destructive chaos an artistic necessity required to break the rigid rules of old Hollywood? Or was it just pure, monumental arrogance? Leave your analysis in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the corrupted legacy of a cinematic icon,